Greetings everyone. Today we're going to be walking through my JavaScript game called Battleship. It's the same one that we had when you were young. You're just going to be playing the computer in this game. So I'm going to take a bet here, and I need to lay my boats out on the right, so I have to select where they're going to go. And so it's no big deal, but you just put them wherever you feel comfortable with them. I see here, it doesn't really matter. The computer you're going to be playing, and they're going to do the same thing randomly. So, and you can basically select with the direction, you can put the center point wherever you want, or wherever the anchor point is. So you get to select those, you can see fairly easily. And then we'll get going here. Okay, so now that all my boats are set, as you can see here, the computer has its own on the left, and its boats are hidden, so I have to go find them. And so every time I click, the computer will take a turn as well. And it looks like I found their carrier here. And let's see what else we got here. It looks like I found a couple more. And they're not doing too bad. They found one of mine over there, so thus far. I might have them on this game. But it is, the AI actually does figure out where your boat, once it hits, it starts to circle around that area and basically click through, and it knows that it made a hit, and so it will circle that area quite a bit. It looks like I won this one. Okay, so here is Battleship in the GitHub repository. I basically clear and declare a bunch of variables initially to get started. Down here is kind of the money scenario all the way to here. And then I start writing the actual Battleship code. Build grid actually builds out the grid first. You have to do that first. Generate, obviously, is how we're going to get the random AI to select things. And we do a lot of while. So it'll be already called. As you can see, if it has an index of already called, it's got to be -1. Otherwise, we got to make a random one. And so, which case it tells it, make sure that you find something that's not already in the already called array, and then we'll just keep doing this until we find one, and then we'll push it. And that's that. This is all about building the target array. So when the computer decides it's going to be doing some hunting, this is the circle scenario. When it actually hits something, it circles around it. And then if it hits it again, you tell it to go up and down on the X and Y axis to get the rest of them hit. So it basically starts chomping down on your boat one hit at a time. And yeah, it's really just a matter of plussing or minusing where the square is, where initially the anchor point was that it hit. And so we can keep moving on here. You see, so the select square obviously is what ignites where I'm hitting, as far as like what I did. And once I've gone ahead and selected all mine, we have a function in here called AI select, and then AI select will go through all of its motions, and it obviously it's going to be careful not to cross over the already called. If something's already in there, it knows not to do that. And yeah, this is pretty much it. It basically tells you, like, if you hit something and it doesn't say empty, then you need to go ahead and say it's a hit. And then you tell it, all right, well, we made a hit, and let's go do the build target array. And so once it does hit, it starts to write targets around, like it adds the class target, so it knows which ones to click on. So it's like, go after the next target, and it'll know which one's which. Okay, so this is the layout of the boats. And so what happens basically is, let me see, when I lay out the boats, I tell it where I want it to go, and then it will write out the actual boat itself on my panel. So if it says the carrier, then it does all of the boat. And it also wants to know the direction. We got a horizontal or we got a vertical. And then it does it for each boat. Here's the Battleship. And once again, it's asking, and if it goes off the page, it'll be an undefined, and so it'll show an error. So you can't put the boats on top of each other, and you can't put the boats off the page either. Here's for the cruiser, submarine, obviously, destroyer, and then now we're back here, just cleaning up a little bit. This is going to be telling us the size of the boats, and so these are all pretty important to know, like how many squares we want to have for each one. And this is my boat placement. If the direction's down, direction's up. And then here's the deal. So for the most part, I could probably like clean this up to be like under 800 lines of code probably. Basically, what you're doing is you build out the grid, and you put all the boats where you want them, and then it tells the computer, okay, computer, go ahead and you lay out yours. So we have two basically similar things. Like this is the build target, and that would be for the AI, and hunt is the strategy it's using, and select square is me, but it also calls the AI select. And so we basically go through a placement service, one for me, and then one for the boat, or one for the AI. And it just picks it randomly. And that's pretty much it. So let me know if you have any questions.